All right, well, happy to see you all this morning. This is always a fun time and a great group of people to hang out with. Today, we're going to talk healthy, wealthy, and wise, financial clarity for a balanced life. I'm Josh Glenn. A little bit, same jacket too. It really is.
You look like a more handsome version of that guy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was actually like a few years ago. I should probably update it now that I'm getting old. But I've, yeah, for sure. I've had people tell me I need some gray hair.
Yeah, you need to start wearing glasses.
And I was like, I don't know what to do about that, but okay. I've been a licensed advisor since 2018, got my CFP, Certified Financial Planner, in 2019. I was on a team with my dad in Sumter, South Carolina at Stifel, which is another big financial firm. And then when we moved down here last summer, made the jump to Edward Jones. Was kind of, if we were going to move, there were already a lot of big changes. So why not go out on my own and see how we can do this thing? So I've been rocking and rolling at Edward Jones since last July. Things are going really well. I've got no complaints. It's been a good firm, good fit, and we're doing our best to help as many people as we can. But how this kind of relates today is, I don't need to tell you guys about stress. All of y'all understand that. But 73% of Americans rank their finances as the #1 stress in their life. You can look at all kinds of different studies, and no matter which one it is, stress is always near the top for bad things, and finances is almost always one of the top causes. And I've seen studies that say it's the #1 cause of divorce. It's the #1 cause for like heart disease and lots of other things. And I think a good quote that goes along with this is like a healthy man wants 1,000 things, and a sick man only wants one thing. And that leads us nicely to this one. Stress causes or contributes to, you guys know all this, cardiovascular, mental health, digestive, diabetes, immune systems, what we were just talking about, laughter. Anything that raises your cortisol levels is bad because that causes inflammation, which causes all kinds of issues inside the body. And I think it's easy to talk about this with this group because y'all get it. And a lot of people are like, wait, what? What's cortisol? What's inflammation? So a couple good quotes that I like. This one's from a Harvard med school doctor. Wealth and health are so closely integrated that we can no longer consider them apart. And I don't know how to say that Greek guy's name, but when health is absent, wealth becomes useless. There's no use in having $10 million if you don't have any health to enjoy it. If you can't move around, you can't do the things you enjoy, what good is all that money? So how can I help? Hope is not a strategy. Financial planning removes the guesswork and adds clarity to complex and ever-changing situations based on you and what you want. And so working with an advisor significantly enhances the confidence you have in your own financial picture. Lots of different studies out there, but this particular one, 70% increase in financial confidence leading to better financial outcomes and overall well-being. Clients of CFPs maintained financial plans, emergency funds, and report living comfortably, which contributes to a healthier relationship with money and reduced financial anxiety. So what do we do to help with that? How do we put a strategy around stuff like this? I can walk anyone through the actual system, but I'm never confident in Wi-Fi when you come do stuff like this. So I've just got some screenshots. This is a tool we have called Money Guide Pro. This particular example is going to be based on a 42-year-old couple. And you get into the system, you enter all your personal information like husband, wife, ages, kids, anything you want really, and then you get here and it talks about goals. So they want to retire, and when they retire, they want to have $100,000 a year through retirement. Healthcare, that's something that affects everybody. They want to make sure they send their 2 kids to college, and then once they retire, they'd like to travel and spend $15,000 a year on travel. And you can see, you can put anything. You can have buy a new car. You can have, I want to leave $1 million to the church or a charity, whatever. And if there's something that's not up there, we'll put it under other, and we'll plan for it. So you really can plan for anything and everything, which makes it really nice and gives you a nice picture of, okay, where am I? What do I want? And how do we get there? So this screen is one of my favorites. This literally takes every asset you have. It'll This Social Security tab, you can play with it and say, okay, I want to take it at 62, that'll give me X amount of dollars a year. I want to take it at 67, that'll give me X amount of dollars a year, depending on what what your income was while you were working and all that good stuff. Other retirement income, that can be annuities, that can be pension, that can be you were in the military for 20 years. It can be a lot of different things, and we can account for all of that. Investment assets, that's your bank accounts, your brokerage accounts, IRAs, all that fun stuff. And then other assets, that's your house, that's rental properties, that's any collections. Like gun collections are big in the South. Some people have a lot in that. Jewelry, anything that can be turned to something valuable, you can account for all of that. And then that all goes into what your net worth is. And then there's also a place when you talk to Anna and she helps you and puts you in the right life insurance policy, you can account for that too. And then liabilities, any debts you have out there, mortgage is normal, car insurance. Younger folks, there's a lot student loans out there, so you can account for that too and make sure that's part of their plan. And then it'll give you a net worth number to work from. And then once you do all that, it gives you a success rate. And 44%, it's like, it's not great, not that bad. But what the cool thing is once you get here, this Explore tab, this Social Security tab, and the Play Zone lets you change all of this stuff and see how that would impact the confidence zone, which is that percentage. So this is called the 1,000 trials. So that was only a 44% success rate. But if you took the best possible outcome, you end up with $66 million. But if you take the middle, which is much more likely, you got 0. So it gives you a nice range, and when you have a percentage that's like 65, 70, and all of these have numbers, it just gives you a really good range of, okay, what might this look like? And obviously you would love to have 66 million, but it's nice to be realistic too. So it'll also let you dive in, and so if we did everything, we did college, we did travel, that's where you're 44%. And then if you say, okay, well, maybe I don't need to travel, that's going to up you to 57. And you're like, okay, well, what if I don't worry about sending my kids to college? Then you have a much better likelihood of you retiring with that $100,000. And then this is the Play Zone, which is probably my favorite tool here. So once you get in here, you could say, all right, I want to try my needs, wants, and wishes, but let's change up a few extra things. You can say, okay, what if I retire at 67? And it'll instantly change that number and be like, okay, now you have a 50% chance or whatever. And you can say, all right, well, what if I save an additional $5,000 a year, $6,000 a year? And that'll bump you by a few percentage points too. So you can really get an idea of like, all right, what do I need to be doing right now to make my needs, wants, and wishes a reality? And then down here, this gives you all your needs, wants, and wishes. So you could say, okay, well, what if I want to travel on $10,000 a year? Or what if I just want to pay half of the kids' college so they're not drowning in debt? What if I want to do $85,000 a year instead of $100,000 a year? And it's going to instantly change those numbers or that percentage up there. So you know, okay, now we're getting somewhere. I feel like I can really make this work. And that way you leave with at least a sense of, okay, I may not be exactly where I want to be, but I know how to get there now. And so I'll kind of wrap it up here. A Fidelity survey, 77% of program participants admitted they don't have the time or knowledge to be confident in their investment choices. John Hancock found something similar. 70% of people work with an advisor on track or ahead for retirement compared to 33% of those who don't. So my job is really to maximize the life you live during the day and maximize the quality of sleep you get at night. And a financial plan focused on you and your specific situation is how you get there. And you may say, hope is not a strategy, but I'm not even there. I don't even have any hope. And there's a lot of people that think that. And what you find in doing this is maybe you're in a much better position than you thought, or you find, okay, I am behind, but now I have a plan to get back on track. And that's why this tool is so useful. Or you may find, shoot, we should be spending more money. We've got more than we need. So it can get you, it doesn't matter where you are, this tool can give you a really good idea of what you should be doing and what would be most helpful. And then we're kind of there to handhold you in the process, make sure you're on track.